size rotation. Hey, Mike Phillips with Autogeek, and we're here at SEMA in Las Vegas, 2017 SEMA, and I'm with Jason Rose, the Global Director of Training, and Todd Helme, the National Sales Manager for RUPES. And RUPES is introducing just a boatload of new cool products, pads, and tools. Can you guys just share some of this with the viewers and tell us what the coolest stuff is that's coming out from RUPES this year?
Yeah, you know, we're actually introducing 4 new tools. We have 2 of them here, the electric tools. 2 new pneumatic tools, Mike, that actually use a new movement. So traditionally we've had single action, double action, and the 2 new pneumatic tools actually blaze a new category. We're calling triple action. In addition to the new tools, we have 2 new sets of compounds and polishes, a host of new specially designed pads, and the compounds that work with them in the system. And for the random orbital, we haven't forgotten about it. We've actually developed new wool pads. These things cut like a banshee. Unbelievable.
Those are crazy cut. Yeah, they're very, very cool.
Crazy cut, and they don't require as much maintenance as a microfiber. You don't have to be as dedicated. So when you get into more industrial application, they work well. One of the things that separates RUPES, I think, or puts us in a different area, is we design tools and systems with the end user first. So we literally look at the guy who's using it and how can we improve his experience. This is why when we launch a new tool, it always comes with a system. It's a big team effort. We have a huge engineering team in Italy, and we also have the guy standing to my right, your left, who's a big part of the development, Jason, and who better to kind of give us a technical introduction of the new systems than Jason.
Yeah, Todd and Mike. So what we've got going on is just not a launch of a tool, because the reality of polishing paint is the result is because of a tool, because of a pad, because of a compound or liquid. And what we've done is scienced out those systems for these tools. So there's 2 new tools, the gear-driven Melay. How do I say this?
Melay.
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 Well, you know, you have to go like this. Melay.
That's okay. That's how you.
Any other way is incorrect.
So, and this has a very specific movement to the polisher. You pull the trigger, has 2 movements, the orbit and the rotation, but when you pull this trigger, they're both gear-driven and fixed. Very predictable force movement on the paint. And because of that movement, which is very different than, you know, random orbital and other types of movements, we've scienced out the fact that the pad design and the compounds that are associated with them need to be tuned for that movement. And what we've done is, you know, got to that peak performance by the tool, the pad, and the compound all working together to get that result.
So it's a system approach.
Yes.
Everything working in harmony.
Working together to get that result. And the pad design of this tool would be different than the pad design of the Rotary.
Because it's a different action altogether.
A completely different movement. And the forces on the paint, and Todd knows this very well, he geeks out on sciencing out what happens on the paint. But this movement generates heat and friction, this movement generates heat and friction, but that heat and friction, you know, plays out different ways. So this movement, the Rotary, has its own compounds and pads. There's a compound, a polish, and an ultra-fine polish, and 3 different sizes of diameters on the Rotary. There's 5-inch, 6-inch, and 7, and those pads have been designed for the Rotary movement. And then these pads, completely different shape and look.
Different foam.
Different foams, yeah, foam material. And these liquids, we have a compound, a polish, and an ultra-fine polish as well, but not the same formula. These have been very different formulations than those.
One of the things Jason explained to me, and how it makes sense to me, I don't quite have the technical education Jason does, but if you think of that gear-driven movement, that pad is almost making a Torx movement. It's making a star pattern. And that, if you don't have good lubrication on the pad, you feel that as a vibration that goes right up your shoulder. I mean, you can literally feel it, and it's one of the biggest complaints with previous gear-driven systems is the vibration, the heat, and the steering. So you need a compound that saturates and lubricates the face of the pad almost instantly.
Yes.
The problem is if you use that type of lubrication on a Rotary where the edge speed is 25, 30 miles an hour, it's going to sling everywhere. With the Rotary, you need a compound that sticks. If you look, I don't know if you can see on the paint, but I was just playing with it. These aren't holograms. This is just compound. but I was just playing with the Rotary, right, when we started filming, and you can see that it sticks to the surface, it doesn't sling. So each compound has been tuned to deliver the best results with our system. Does that make sense?
Yes, you really drilled down. Now, one thing I think people will be very interested in is everything you guys make yourselves. The pad, the foam formulas, the products, everything is proprietary to RUPES.
RUPES, correct. In fact, I believe at some time earlier this year, we became the only company to make our own electric motors, pads, compounds, backing plates. We do the Velcro. Basically everything you get except for the bearings.
So that gives you total control over the quality, and also it lets you design everything for each different tool. I think right now, while we can you show some of the specifics about the Rotary, like the RPMs, the weight, the power? Things guys would be interested in. Sure. Guys are tool guys.
Yeah, you know, so a few things that make the Rotary a little bit unique in the market, and let's be honest, a Rotary's a Rotary. It spins. It's what a Rotary does. We wanted to develop a Rotary that goes to an extremely low RPM. There's a lot of guys out there that like to long cycle their polishes and really jewel them and work them in. So both the speed dial and the trigger, the speed dial sets your maximum RPM, and then the trigger is progressive, and it's very easy to feel. So down on 1, I can actually operate this at around 60 RPM on the paint. The motor's
with a lot of torque.
The torque on this thing is incredible. So the low RPM ability is great. The tool runs extraordinarily cool. We've been running all day long and they're not getting warm, but RUPES is kind of known for that because of our efficient motors, right? We turn a lot of that wattage into power. And if you know how impressive RUPES is with the efficiency, I think this is a 1,000-watt motor, or 900, something like that. So incredibly powerful with the RUPES efficiency, very quiet, slow RPM, very easy to handle. Everybody who has used this tool at SEMA, literally everybody, has commented on how easy it is to handle. And when we talk about handling a Rotary, you have to be comfortable within your hands. So a lot of design went into the ergonomics. The handle shape is different than the random orbitals. And the tool actually comes with 3 different options for holding. What Dylan Von Kleist, our marketing guy, likes to call the D handle. He believes it's named after him. I call it a bail handle because I'm old school.
Or a hoop handle.
A hoop
handle.
It's a thingamabob, and what makes our thingamabob nice is you can vary it infinitely in the 90-degree.
It looks like it's really nice to grip also.
So actually the story behind that, the story behind the design of the bail handle is the owner of RUPES, Guido Valentini, was driving his car and he loved the way the steering wheel felt and decided that he was actually going to make the D handle, the hoop handle, the bail handle after his car. So all it's missing is, it's just missing a horn button right here. No, it's a true story. This is a true story.
Paddle shifters.
Also, we have a side handle, and there's a lot of guys that like to just hold it on the palm.
Yeah, so the thing about tools is there are user preferences, and we wanted to accommodate those preferences. So some people don't like a handle at all. Some like the D handle, some like a side handle, and we've accommodated all those options.
Something for everybody.
Yeah.
With and then of course the other tool that's gotten a lot of press and hype is the Melay. I'm sorry, the Melay. Very good, Mike. Very good.
We're practicing.
You'll notice we have 2 of them right here. Same tool, comes with different backing plate sizes. So you will be able to switch backing plate sizes depending on what you want. Again, the compound and pad and the way it plays is integral to having a smooth buffing experience. Mike, can you hear me? That yellow, the polish says Melay on it, color coordinated. So random orbital is black. Melay is kind of a dark gray, and Rotary silver. So we say the gear driven kind of falls in between the Rotary. 2 drops of product once the pad is primed, but it's very, very important that the foam is primed prior to use, like a random orbital.
Just a thin and even layer of the product on there. And as Todd mentioned earlier, no dry spots on the pad because they will try and grab onto the paint, and then you'll experience it as a vibration.
Absolutely. What differentiates this on the market is we reduced orbit size. So orbit size is around 5 millimeters, but the tool actually orbits 13 times per rotation. So this is how we capture lost movement, and the RPM is higher. The beauty of this tool is it also rotates if you're looking down at the tool on a clockwise movement. So it's like a rotary, so you don't feel like you're staring against it. You can see, if you look at my hand, there's almost no vibration. It's an incredibly smooth ride, incredibly smooth. Now, in terms of torque, I'm going to reduce this down to speed 1. Yancey, if you want to zoom in, I'm down on speed 1, and I'm going to hammer down on this thing. I am going to hammer down on it.
Wow. There must be something in the processor there to apply all the power needs under a heavy load.
Well, it's absolutely going to increase the torque, but this tool has torque for days. Compared to other random orbital polishers, 5 to 10%, gear driven, we aim for about 5 to 10% more cutting power. But really, again, user experience. I can run this one-handed. The steering is very, very light. Even as I ramp it up in speed, the steering, very little walking. It's not going to take me for a ride.
That's very impressive. And then having a combination of different pads and chemicals lets you tackle anything.
Absolutely. You know, there's different movements on the market, and RUPES wanted to make sure that we offered a very comfortable, user-friendly approach. That's why we kept the pads and compounds color-coordinated. We've always had that blue, green, yellow, white kind of system. Now it's blue, yellow, white. Didn't need the green for the rotary and the gear-driven. So we're just trying to make it simpler and make it easier for everybody.
And I think one of the important features to this is being gear-driven is there's no chance for pad stall. So a lot of guys look for that feature in a gear-driven tool.
Sure, it makes it a lot easier for guys. Some guys love the random orbital and they've really perfected their technique. Other guys prefer the gear-driven, like the ability to run it up on an edge and maintain rotation. So again, it's important for us to cover the entire market.
Something for everybody.
Absolutely.
Can we talk about pricing and availability?
Availability is first quarter. We don't have an exact date yet, but we'll say no later than March 2018. As far as pricing, I'm not sure where we're at.
Well, they variety, depends on the configuration, but they're anywhere from $350 to, I think the highest one is almost $500.
I would just say a fair price. Give me a fair price. Now,
I'd say a great value, actually.
great
Mike,
value. Fair price and a great value. Now, is there any way for a guy like me to get his hands on these sooner?
No, not until I can.
Here, put it in your hand.
There you go.
Now you got it in your hand.
Okay.
The other thing we should mention is that we're doing a class together on these.
Oh, we should, yeah. Coming to the first weekend of December.
Yeah.
We'll have these at the Autogeek Show Car Garage, and if you haven't signed up for that, I think there's only a few seats left. You better jump on that real fast. And so you're going to be some of the first people in the United States to play with these new tools, and I guarantee you I'm going to have some cool cars there.
Now, the rumor is if you'll let me be a guest helper, not an instructor, I might be able to make the drive down. But that's up to you, Mike.
I have to see if my car needs to be washed.
Okay, perfect.
Anyway, hey, to get more information about these, you can go to RUPES.com. RUPESUSA.com and also Autogeek.com. And I think there's going to be a lot of excitement about these new tools coming in 2018. And if you love polish and paint, you're going to love these tools because one of the things I like about RUPES is that smooth feel. It doesn't jar you, doesn't wear you out. It makes polish and paint fun.
Thank you.